So what is going on YouTube? I want to know, all my subscribers here, Driveway Demons, who is interested in seeing a review on this. This will be something that I'm trying very hard to get on the channel. So if you're interested in seeing a full driving review of the Civic Type R, I would love to see your comments below. This is definitely the next car that I want to do right here. It's just a gem. I've had at least half a dozen Hondas I've owned in my life. And as a kid, I waited for so long growing up, you know, as a teenager, just out of college, just to get one of these in my possession, and Honda never released it. And here I am now in my early 30s, and they finally released a Type R. I wish the Type R had come out when the RSX was out and, you know, the 2000 SI was out, stuff like that, but they eventually got it done and they did it right. Let's take a close look. I'm gonna do a walk around in the Civic Type R right now. Those are some big, and I mean big, Brembos for a car of this size. I mean, realistically, these Brembos are a little much for a car this size. I bet you it stops on a dime. I've never driven this car, so I don't know. This is all carbon fiber on the front. It's very, very well put together. Just looking at the car and, you know, going over it and looking at the clips and the screws and how tight everything is, they did a really good job putting this car together. It's not cheap by any means. I'm not so sure if these are functional or not. They do look like they are. All carbon fiber side skirts here. The rear doesn't get the Brembos, or if these are Brembos, they're very small, but the front does. And most of your braking power does come from the front. Now these are 20s, which are very, very big for a Honda. 245s, and it is front wheel drive, so 245s in the front is pretty good, because my Civic that I had back in the day only had 225s, and I think I had 215s on a couple of my other Hondas, so 245 is really, really good. Now, this is what it's all about right here. The rear end is just beautiful. They got a lot of carbon fiber in here. They have the center exhaust system, the red Honda badges that all Honda fanatics go crazy for, and they go to JDM websites to get them shipped over to the States. They can change over their Honda Civics to all red badges. This comes with everything already on the car. And this spoiler is definitely badass, to say the least. They've set this car up very, very nice, that's for sure. Fender flares and everything. It even comes with every last bit of piece of hardware you can think of. Diffusers, air splitters on the top right here. I like the black on white on the spoiler as well. Don't know if the door is open. It's not, but you can see the seats are so unreal. It even has the number on the shifter. You can see the number right there of which production this is, and I believe this is production 5158, I think. I think this is the 5100th car produced. 306 horsepower. It's just that price, $40,000. For a Civic, it's a lot, but the thing is that everyone's waiting such a long time, so the nostalgia of the vehicle. This car is produced in England, though, not in Japan, which is a shocker if you ask me. Hey, what's going on, JC? I did actually order the Durango, but shh, don't tell anybody. Well, I mean, I kind of blew it by saying that now. Shh. I got a video coming out on that in about the next 4 to 5 days, and I'm gonna have a lot of Durango content. I really didn't want to bust the news on the video yet, but I got some really cool stuff coming. I just gonna be looking at this, and I figured a lot of people wanted to see the Civic Type R up close, And this car is absolutely badass. This is so badass. 306 horsepower for a car that weighs about 3,500 pounds maybe. That's a lot. It's a lot of power. It's probably lighter than that actually. It may be closer to 32, but I haven't checked the weight on this thing just yet. You can see it's a far cry from the Civic SI that's over here. This is the basic 205 horsepower Civic SI. They did switch to turbo, so they're not using naturally aspirated engines anymore. Now the SI is very nice. Very, very nice car. Not as nice as the Type R, but that's to be expected.
Like I don't see him.
Cisco, from that please, Cisco, from that please, Cisco.
And you can see the price difference here at about $26,000. So it's about $14,000 more to get all the fixings on the Type R. So if you sit there and you price that together, $14,000 difference is definitely worth it if you're going for the Type R. I would say that it's the same scenario with whatever vehicle you get. It's going to be about the same. With the Hellcat, with my Charger, it's about $15,000, $18,000 more than the average price of a Scat Pack. So every dealer has a certain markup on the premium vehicle, and the Type R is definitely worth it. I haven't driven that Type R before, or the new one, so to speak, at all, but I have had Type Rs I've driven in the past. I've driven the Integra Type R from 97, 98, and the 02, which is the RSX. I actually have been in a right-hand drive Integra Type R, and that was a lot of fun. So, yeah, I figured I'd come up here in the Hellcat, of course, and actually speak to the manager and maybe possibly work something out. So actually the sales manager is actually calling me over right now, and maybe, just maybe, in the future we may have a really cool video to do up here.
I just have to get